Hey everybody. So I just wanted to hop on and shoot a short video about what I think is probably the easiest way for people to get their feet wet with CW, and that's parks on the air. If you are learning Morse code and you've got some key fright and you're not really comfortable getting on the air yet, this is probably one of the easiest ways to do that. Just to give you a little perspective, today is March 20th of 2023. I joined the Long Island CW Club on November 11th, 2022. I took my first class on November 14th, 2022, and I actually made my first QSO on January 27th of 2023, so a little over 2 months. And that's not too bad. The next day, I hunted my first park, and since then, I have hunted 655 parks on CW. Now, I haven't activated a park on CW yet. That's my next goal. I've activated plenty on single sideband, but I haven't done any CW yet. That's kind of my end goal, is to be able to activate on CW. But what I want to talk about today is what the QSO protocol looks like, so that people who want to get on the air but don't really know where to start have a place to start where they're comfortable, where they understand what's coming at them. Because, you know, even if people are sending a little faster than you're comfortable with, if you know what they're going to send you, it makes it that much easier. So we'll take a look at the QSO protocol today. And there are a lot of videos out there that cover things like this. Thomas Witherspoon K4SWL has some great videos on this stuff. But remember, Thomas is looking at this primarily from an activator's perspective. I'm looking at this today from A hunter's perspective, and B, a new CW operator's perspective. So let's take a look at this QSO protocol, so that you can see what it looks like. And then I'll actually hop on the radio here. I've got it turned off so it won't transmit, but I'll actually go through the QSO protocol in real time so you can hear what it sounds like. Because once you get comfortable with what the words sound like, you totally understand what's going on. Oops, sorry about that. So if we take a look at this, this is sort of a generic QSO protocol that you'll see on Parks on the Air. There are variations of this, but this is generally speaking how things are going to go. So the activator is going to call CQ, and you'll hear them call CQ POTA, DE, and then their call sign. And usually they'll follow that with a K. Not always. Sometimes you'll just hear them call CQ POTA, DE, and then their call sign. But normally it'll be followed with a K. When you hear that, you're going to respond with your call sign. Now, if there's already a pile up, you're just going to start throwing your call sign out there. But if you hear somebody calling CQ, generally speaking, when you come back with your call sign, they're going to come right back to you with your call sign again. So you're going to hear the activator come back with your call sign, and generally they're going to say thank you, and then good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time of day it is. And then they're going to give you your RST. So they're going to say you are, and then they're going to give you your RST, 599, 439, what have you. Sometimes they'll reply with their state as well. Now, that's not always the case. If it's a park that is in more than one state, it's good practice to do that. You may hear people do it. Some people do, some people don't. And then after that, you're going to hear them send BK. That means they're sending the conversation back to you. So now the hunter's going to reply again, BK, back to me. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And then you're going to send their RST. So 479, so on and so forth, whatever. You're going to send their RST twice. And then you're going to send their state twice. So you might send 599, 599, Florida, Florida, back to you. They're going to reply with BK, thank you, or TNX. Then they're going to send your states. They might say, thanks, Florida, and 73 from, and then their call sign, and then they're going to send 2 dits. Normally, you would reply with 2 dits, and that's the end of the QSO. Now, sometimes the activator will send QSL instead of a thank you, or a TU, or a TNX here. Once you get used to what QSL sounds like, it won't throw you for a loop, but the first time you hear it, it might be a little confusing. If there's a pile up, they might abbreviate this. They might just send thank you 73 dit dit. They might even just send thank you dit dit. Depending on how fast they're moving and how many people are calling them, they might shorten this up. So generally speaking, what this is going to look like in a standard QSO, they're going to call CQ POTA, DE, and then this is my call sign, so K2EJT, K. And then you reply with your call sign. So this is my old call sign, KE2ACY. So I call CQ POTA from me, K. I'm going to reply, the hunter's going to reply with their call sign. I'm going to reply back with the hunter's call sign, thank you, good afternoon. You are, in this case, they're 579. So I'm going to send 57N in New York, because that's where I am, back to you. They're going to send BK, good afternoon, and then my RST, which is in this case 539, New York, and then back to me. BK, thank you, New York, and 73 from K2EJT, dit. The hunter replies with dit. That's the end of the QSO, and then the next one begins. You'll hear people start sending calls. If it's really hauling, if there's a big pile up and this guy's sending, 25 words a minute and they're really trying to go, they might abbreviate this. Like I said, you might not hear them call CQ at all. You might just jump into the pile. But if they're calling CQ, they might just send CQ POTA and then their call sign and a K. You reply with your call sign, and they might just reply with your call sign, your RST, and BK. You might not hear. They might only send this once. They might not send a state. They might not even send thank you. If they're hauling, they might only send this one time. If they're really moving, generally I try to reciprocate. So I'll send, back to them, good morning, good afternoon, whatever, and then I'll send their RST in my state one time. I'm trying to speed things up. If they've got a lot of stations calling them, I don't want to drag this out. And then finally BK, and then it'll say thank you 73 dit. I'll send a dit, and that's all she wrote. So that's kind of what the QSO protocol looks like. And once you get the hang of what this sounds like and what the cadence is like and what all these different things sound like, it's really fairly painless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the camera here, and I've got a radio next to me that's set up not to transmit. And I'm going to run through what this actually sounds like in real time. And I'll kind of explain what I'm sending as I do that. So let me turn the camera here. And fire the radio up. And make sure it is not transmitting. It is not. Let me grab my key. So this is what this is going to sound like. Let me make sure we can hear it. Yep, we're good. So I'm going to send it about 18 words a minute. You send with whatever you're comfortable with, and generally the hunters will come back at the speed you call them at. So if you only call it 12 words a minute, they'll try to reply at 12 words a minute. Now, they may not turn their keyer speed down, but they'll give you a whole bunch of Farnsworth. When I'm hunting, if I'm hunting a park that's only sending it 12 words a minute, I'll turn the keyer speed down to 12 words a minute. Generally speaking, I key someplace between 18 and 22 words a minute. 19 to 20 is kind of my sweet spot, but you'll get comfortable with where that is. So this is what this is going to sound like. So the activator is going to send their CQ. And then they'll send their call sign. And then a K. So what you just heard was CQ, POTA, DE, my call sign, and then K. So I'll send it one more time. So that's the CQ. So you would respond with your call sign. So I'll use my old call sign. Said it wrong. Oh, see, I did it again. I haven't said it in a long time. So I send my call sign, and the hunter's going to reply with my call sign. So they're going to send back. Then they're going to say, thank you, usually. Then they're going to send good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So it's evening. So good, whoops. Good evening. Then you are, and then your RST. So that was 599, and then I'll send the state. So what you just heard there was the call sign. Thank you. Good evening. You are 559, New York, back to you. So I'll send that one more time so you can hear what it sounds like without me talking. Ooh. So now I'm going to reply as the hunter. Then I'm going to say good evening. Then you are. and then they're RST. So we'll send 579. Oops. And then my state. So then that's sending it back to the hunter. So one more time, I'll send that without me talking so you can hear what that cadence sounds like. So now I send it back to the activator, so they're going to send back. So what I just sent was BK, thank you, New York, and 7-3 from K2EJT, and then I'm going to send to end the QSO, and the hunter would reply, and that's really all there is to it. So really, as a hunter, all you need to be able to send is your call sign. And then you need to be able to send good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So good morning, good afternoon. Nope, that's good night. That's good afternoon or good evening. All right, and then you are. And then numbers. So like I said, you might just send a 599 or a 559. They're easy to send. I mean, a 599 is just, right? A 559 is just simple. And then your state. So if you lived in Florida, it'd be, or whatever. I'm New York, so, right? And you got to be able to send BK. That's it. As long as you can send those things, you can hunt parks. So that's the end of this video. I hope you found it useful. In the next video, I'll try to shoot it this weekend. I'll actually hunt some parks, and you can watch how this works in real time. So with that being said, I'm going to say 7-3. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.